Alright. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Power Rangers the movie. This is for the Game Boy. I'm actually playing this on the Super Game Boy, so you guys can see all these lovely colors and know which Ranger I'm playing as. But this is actually a closer adaptation to the original movie than any other adaptation that you may have seen on, like, say, Super Nintendo or Genesis, as you're actually fighting in your ninja gi. So, as far as the game goes, this is basically your primary beat-em-up game, your typical beat-em-up, but there is some tech in here that I do use, and I manipulate some of the bad programming involved in this game, which involve me hitting low to manipulate hitbox detection issues and things like that. Also, there is another issue with this game involving input drops. So if you guys may have seen the Angry Video Game Nerd video of him complaining about this game, his rage is justified. He deals with issues that I do have with this game. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that when I do morph into a Power Ranger, I am definitely more powerful, obviously. So we get to our first sub-boss here. Pretty easy to dispatch. Just basically jump up in the air, just start punching him like crazy. And I'll start introducing some more moves here. Like, I get the dash when I'm a Power Ranger, so it goes pretty damn fast. And I do apologize for that, saying the damn. I just love this game. This game is definitely a love story for my gaming career, obviously. I guess I call it a career at this point. I've been playing this since it came out in '95. A lot of time with this game, and I just decided to pick it up as a speedrun not too long ago. A couple months, and I've been working towards developing this game for a speedrun platform. And I've actually had the world record now at any % normal and any % hard. And I love these putties that you see. I may say, yeah, they're punch happy. That's exactly what they're doing right now. And coming to our first boss here, which is Mordant. Pretty easy guy, just gotta jump over him and start punching him like crazy in the face. But there's also a move that you do get. It's called I call it the super punch, but it allows you to get one more extra punch on the enemy, which I just did. And you don't get too close, or else he just punches you in the face, and that's your first boss down. Now, in my run, I had did this to where I could use all my Rangers. So I'm gonna be changing it up to the Black Ranger now, which is Adam, or as we call him in the movie, the Frog. But he's actually useful because Aisha, Adam, and Kimberly, they actually jump higher with different categories. So I'm definitely gonna be using them now for their abilities. And there's definitely a lot of platforming in this particular level, so we're definitely going to be using Adam's strengths to his liking here. So as you see here, you do get power-ups from just normally killing the putties, but you also get them by also getting those thunder power-ups that you do see, and also the hearts. They just give you life back, but it's actually really good that you do get your thunder power-ups. Yeah, as you can see there's a little bit of some hitbox detection issue there, so, but this is just typical with this run. As long as I've played this game, you can just kind of tell where these issues are coming from. And yeah, putties with, with rocket packs. That's one thing you would love to see. Not for me, though. And I wish I would have morphed by now, but it's alright. Just gotta punch him low. Now, there's another little glitch in this game where basically you have to kill everything off screen. That includes all the items. So if nothing is actually despawned, you will stay in that level until anything will despawn. So you gotta make sure you pick up everything. Now I finally get to morph into my Black Ranger. And we're not discriminating here. Just want to make that clear. And now we're coming up to our second boss. It's going to be Goldar. He is very RNG heavy, so I'm going to try and manipulate his movement pattern just a little bit here. But I'm looking for that lunge. And there is another move he does with that stupid sword where he just keeps messing up with the hitbox, so I got to get him to stop doing that. Go back to a lunge. Give me a pretty bad fight here. Ah, that's what I didn't want to do. Stop that. Ah, that's okay. Good thing about this game is that you have multiple continues, so just get back on that. Goldar was not being fun to me at all. But it wouldn't be a good marathon without Goldar giving me the worst RNG possible. This is better. Come on, one more lunge. Just for me, come on. One more lunge. Into that way. Oh, come on, Goldar. Don't do this to me. There you go. That's better. Goldar is definitely a run killer, that's for sure. But like, I like to keep things interesting. This game is very interesting. It's definitely a gem because not a lot of people know about it. You know more about the Super Nintendo games, you know about the Genesis games, even the Game Gear, but not the Super Nintendo. Or, I mean, sorry, not the Game Boy. Yeah. That thing. Alright, so now we introduce to Tommy here, which is the White Ranger, and he will actually come into play a little bit later on in the run because he is a legit backup strat. There's actually a little meme goes around that says, "What would Tommy Oliver do?" And that's what my backup strat is based on. And I will use that in the Ivan Ooze stage if things gets really hairy. But I love these bats because they're a really good source of farming for morph power, obviously. And like any game, your water does slow you down a bit. And I'm starting to notice some input drops, but that's just par for the course. So I wait for the door like an idiot. I don't know why. Oh, here's another cool thing. Putties with bazookas. How awesome is that? Just the things you would love to have in the show. I would have loved to have seen a putty with a bazooka. So remember what I said, you gotta make sure all the baddies are off the stage before you get to go. Now we come up to our third boss, which is just the man-sized rat. Gonna use that power punch to get another punch in here. And I can't attack him when he's doing this little spin move here. Just gonna wait till he comes out of water and I'll punch him in the face again. Like so. His movements are completely RNG, so just gotta wait for him to stop. And he's down. Yeah, that's a big old rat. We don't see him in the movie, but we see him in the TV series. And I do have chat up, so you guys, if you want to ask me any questions, feel free. And this stage is definitely the hardest level of this entire stage, because when I see a pit, I cringe. Because this is where input drops are bad. But there's some really bad run killers in this entire stage, so we'll see how we'll handle this. First, conveyors. Just what you want in a beat-em-up game. And as I'm noticing now, I'm getting those bad input drops, so you may just see me drop for no reason, that's why. It's kind of hard to explain what happens when that happens in the run. But for me, my part of the run that you do not see behind the scenes is me trying to counteract those input drops. And that's actually a strat in itself. Because I will sense whenever an input drop is happening, and I will stop immediately. Well, when I can within reason, you know. So, Busker, how are those porcupines? My man Busker had a world record on our marathon that we held, that I organized, called Distance Star Cares, and he birthed 1,000 porcupines in Sim City. Is a new world record. So, I know what I gotta do next week. I gotta work on VODs. And this is definitely one of the worst parts of the game, because this is an auto-scroller, but this is one of the worst kinds. Because you gotta avoid this thing coming up. This one right here. And you just gotta repeat this pattern. But what's bad about this game is that you do not control what is your punch and what is your kick. So you gotta do this little pattern to keep moving before you get touched by Mr. Excavator here. So I'm gonna just keep going as fast as I can to try to keep this pattern going. And not go any closer than what those teeth are looking like right down my alley there. If you want anything terrifying in a run, this is it. First couple times I did this, my heart was racing. Now I've kind of like, eh. It's still terrifying. It still can cause runs to be killed instantly. And I made it. So wait for you to spawn, and I get to go. I like how I would just walk past all those spiders just falling down. Input drop again. And I get to walk on a little bit of spikes. Alright, run kill area number 2, carts. Now, with this awesome game of ours, the game doesn't like when you do 2 inputs at the same time as a jump and a move. So what I'm going to do is jump in the air and then go forward slightly. I'm going to do that 3 times. But this is the part that Angry Video Game Nerd got mad at a lot, because it is a very bad part of the game right here. Because the first instinct is to not jump, you just go forward. And that's what the game interprets it as, not what we want it to do. Which it tried to do it just now, and I counteracted it. So, yay, GG me. And since we stand up, that means we passed the cart level. Yay. I get to move on. Wait for these putties to come out. Come on, boys. Play. There we go. Now, I do get to have a little bit of fun with Tengu here, because I do have a super power move I can use that will knock off about half his health. Now, if you were to play this on any % hard, that hit would be about 1/4 of his health. Now, I'm going to try to do a juggle move here with Tengu. This is actually better seen. There's actually a task of this run by... I'm trying to remember her name. It's Goddess Maria, there you go. But basically what she has done is she's made a task of this run, and she can actually toggle Queen Tengu, which is very amazing to be seen. I can kind of do it, but it's kind of hard to do it in a typical run standard, but did pretty well. So moving right along, we get to play with Lord Zed next, and we get to see Rocky, the Red Ranger. So moving right along. And we get to see 2 things, a lot of putties and lots of androids. So if you love androids, this is your game. And plus, that soundtrack, man. A lot of classic tunes in this game. Now, I just did want to give a shout out to the group that was a part of the NASA marathon. They actually accepted my run for this game, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it to the marathon. But I did want to. I'm actually glad to be able to run this at this marathon. I did want to give them a shout out because to be accepted into that marathon was basically a dream come true for me. But maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll make it to awesome Canada. But hey, gotta do it for a cause, you know? And now we make to the elevator stage, which is probably one of my more favorite levels because I get to aggro a bunch of putties. They're just falling, boy. Exactly. I love the dash. Get that power punch in there to get a couple more hits. And down. That's the sub-boss. We still gotta fight Lord Zed, so. Oh, and Seathorn, I did see your comment earlier, but thank you very much for allowing me to run this at the marathon. I did actually submit it, so I'm actually glad it finally made its way. Not a problem, my friend. Alright, so this is our first introduction to these taller androids. And what you're noticing, I'm actually ducking down. But that's actually... input drop. Worst place. Like I said, pits, you cringe. But anyways, there's actually a strat that I will use in the refights with Ivan Ooze where you actually can duck underneath the androids, let them walk on top of you. Like I keep forgetting there's Rumbas in this stage. I call them Rumbas, but they're ground robots. As I'm using right now, since I'm not morphed, I can actually duck and recover. Now, the neat thing about this game is that it will let you get enough enemies to morph into a Power Ranger before you fight a boss, so that's nice. The game is actually generous in that regard. But see, I'm actually ducking because their first move is to actually hit you with their head. Alright, come on, bye. Come on, boys. And I do apologize, I do have a slight speech impediment, so I'm trying to talk through it. And we got Lord Zed, which is so much fun RNG, it's not even funny. So the thing is with him is he actually spawns in multiple locations, and you want to make sure you're far enough away to where you can actually punch him, because if you're too close, he'll respawn again. And you're all at the time trying to miss that little neutron blast that he does, and he's done. Pretty darn fast. And with 0411, where you've made it to the final stage, which is Ivan Ooze, or as the Mega Man fans call it, the boss refight stage. So we fight all of our friends again. And fan favorite, Kimberly gets to play. Oh, we'll see Captain Falcon in just a little bit. You see Tengu, Queen Tengu. So it is a Falcon of sorts. So I'm actually going to wait and get some putties spawned here because I want to morph into a Power Ranger before I start these refights. So I'm doing my little waggle move here to actually aggro more putties to my location. Because if I did not morph into a Power Ranger, those fights would take forever. Alright, here we start off with our refights with more dance again. And I notice my notifications are going off. I am so sorry. That may or may not show up in your stream, but I heard it in my ear. So, yay. Oh, more down to the face. Good job, buddy. GG. So yeah, if you guys were to go to my channel, as you can tell, I'm definitely a Star Fox speedrunner. So a lot of my notifications are based on Star Fox 1. Alright, so I gotta be careful here because this is a very, very bad run killer here. As you can tell, with a bunch of pits. And I made it through the first area, pretty good, unscathed. And we got one more to go through that's just like that. Oh, I think the timer has stopped. But we're still going, boys. This is not going to stop our run. We're still going. Because I'm kind of having fun with Tengu right here. Now, the trick is to actually juggle her with a punch. And I got her in the air. Didn't even see her. Cool, huh? That's how that works. Now, that's why we picked Kimberly, because we have a platforming level to go through. Gotta wait for this to come through. Punch him so I can respawn and get the heck out of here. And man's eyes rat again. For those of you that loved seeing the rat again. Oh, that's the first time that actually happened. Talk about marathon luck. Now, I'll take that back. It's happened more times than I can remember. So, very rarely does he actually hit you. Please spawn to the right. Alright. Another thing that I like to do is I like to stay to the right-hand side of the screen because you actually do a walk animation to the right-hand side. So if you're stuck on the left-hand side, you're going to spend a couple seconds walking. And that's going to suck if you're trying to do a speedrun, and this is... I know what's going to die right here. Because this is bad. This is a very bad spot for input drops. But that's what you do. You get up and you do it again. So we're not quite in territory yet to do the backup strat for White Ranger, so I will let you guys know when that time is. I have died in this area a lot, so I am not surprised to die right there. That is all to input drops. And Goldard, let's see what's gonna happen here, because I gotta fight him without being morphed. And you get to see me manipulate him like crazy. I'm looking for that lunge again, guys, so keep that in mind. Not that move. Stop it. That's when he's stuck. When he's in that animation, that's really bad. I'm just trying to get him to stop because your hitbox issue is really apparent there. Come on, boy. Oh, okay. That's good. That's okay. Once I get past Goldar fight, then I can start using White Ranger. I'm actually really par for the course. I only have one run where it was completely deathless. And that's actually my war record of 25-22. Which, God, that is unheard of considering all the issues with this game. And I'm not going to trash this game. I mean, you have to know the quirks of the game to even speedrun it, so I love the game. I do. I honestly do. Just some things you pick up. And down goes Goldar. Finally. I'm still going to be within an estimate, though. That's why I allow a couple more minutes, because I want to make sure I account for the RNG involved and input drops, so. But what I'm looking for here is more putties. I need a morph again, please. So come on. Come join the fun. Another neat little thing is when you do actually morph into a Power Ranger, you do get your health back. So if you're actually struggling, you can actually get your health back. Alright, come on, one more putty. There you go, morph. Elbow to the face. And Lord Zed. As you can see, I'm a little bit too close for comfort here, so he's going to keep responding like he's a madman. As I keep trying to get out of his way. Bad lunge, bad. It's all good. At this point in the game, you just gotta laugh at yourself, because these things do happen. And down goes Lord Zed. Walk to the right, so don't caught by the stupid walk animation. Because everyone wants their coffee. Can I have some H2O coffee, please? I want some H2O coffee. Yeah, this last part is very bad because you gotta deal with a bunch of pits. Not to mention these little buggers. Because you gotta kill them before you actually can progress. So I'm actually gonna be watching them to make sure there's not any on the screen. And I gotta kill him. Come on, hurry up. Thank you. Now I can leave. And with that sound, it is Ivan Ooze's lair, so we have reached the end of the game. So he does have two forms. He has a solid form, which actually is very not mobile, but he does hurt you a lot. And then he has a second form where he actually moves around, kind of like the Nightmare fight in Kirby Dreamland, in Kirby's Adventure, rather. So I'm just basically getting enough power-ups here, which is great. And at this point, if I do die here, White Ranger backup strat is confirmed. So for me to actually hit Ivan Ooze in this first stage is actually very time sensitive here. So you may see me doing like an audio cue or some kind, but basically it's like 4.5 seconds per hit. And it's very, very precise. But another thing you can do, if you don't count to yourself, you can at least look at the idle animation. You can do at least 3 idle animations before you can attack. And I'm watching that Thunderbolt because that will do a lot of damage. And of course, if I get it too early, which happens a lot, he just throws me. That little neutron blast, it hurts a lot. Didn't quite get that. It's alright. Alright, second form incoming. So we may or may not see White Ranger, depending on how my RNG is with Ivan Ooze's second form. Again, using the hitbox issues detection again, so I can actually duck under Ivan Ooze. Good little strat. But he does do something called, I call it the garage hit, the crotch hit, and he basically hits me with his crotch. So I'm trying to avoid that as much as I can, as I'm trying to duck and move with him. And that's time.
Well, thank you for that run.
Oh, you are very welcome.
I'm glad you got to run that since you submitted it.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed the first time around, but it's like I know the game itself is not quite your typical speedrun game, but there is definitely some strats involved with it to make it a speedrun game, so it's definitely legit.
Yeah. Worked very well as a backup. Perfect length that we needed.
Absolutely.
Because now we're going to be actually less behind than we would have earlier.
Nice. And right on estimate too. I was like, oh, I need to make it 35, so I was right on that. So awesome.
Yeah. So thanks for filling in so quickly.
Oh, you are very welcome. And again, thank you very much for allowing me to run this game. It's a blast.
Yeah. So up next we're gonna have